Welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I'll be covering every studio song the band has recorded and every bonus track that I can find. Each week we'll go over a new song from the beginning to where they are currently, and as they keep adding albums, I'll keep adding shows. Let the deep dive party begin.
In the magic garden, some were singing, some were dancing.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. I am your host, Scott Haskin, here with this fan-based, band-endorsed podcast. And thank you guys in Uriah Heep for your help with the show, for all the support that I get from the band. It's pretty cool, and would not be doing this otherwise. So, very important component to me. And here today, we are going to talk about the song Tales on the album The Magician's Birthday. Fantastic album, a favorite of many fans, this particular album. This is a song I've always loved. I love the setting of it, for example, thinking about, just people sitting around a campfire telling stories of days gone by and, it's not like it used to be kind of feel to it. I remember I brought this album with me when I did an audio engineering gig up at this place called Wilderness on Wheels in Colorado, which was this really nice outdoor stage. And they had these trails that you could take through the hills. And but it was made for people that were in wheelchairs so that they could go through nature and enjoy the woods and stuff just as much as everybody else. I thought it was a brilliant idea. They had a lot of people there. It was just a great event. And I ran the audio that weekend. And, thinking at one point I was just in my cabin and I was listening to Tales. And then they invited me out to, this fireside thing that they were doing. And so I just kind of sat on a log and listened to people talk. And then somebody brought out an acoustic guitar and they sang songs and stuff. And this is kind of what I always envisioned this song to be. Just a bunch of people sitting on a log with a fire dying, the orange coming out the orange and red coming out from the sunrise. And, people just telling about the way it was. And that's always kind of the vision I've had for this song. But I just love the sound of it. I love the feel of it. And you know what? I'm going to just go to talking about it and let's just listen. It seems like whenever you're at a campfire, there's always one guy that has an acoustic guitar for some reason. I don't know why that is, but it just seems like somebody always has one. And this is just a very lovely, gentle piece coming in. Really love the panning of the synthesizer, just those little drops of sound that come in and kind of spread across your ears. You could, if you're listening through some good headphones where you can really hear the panning, the spatial sound of it, I don't mean as of in space, I mean as far as like the width of the sound, just dropping in little spots in front and to your sides. Really, really cool effect. I really like to use that sort of panning that goes from one side to another and has little points in between from time to time. And this is the perfect synthesizer sound to use that with. And then couple that with the strumming, and you just you're getting ready for a vocal coming up. But it's a really wonderful opening.
We told our tales as we sat under morning sleepy sky. With all the colors of the sunrise shining in our eyes. One then another with a story of yesterday's life. Or of a lover who had gone in a moment of strife.
For being such a gentle song, it's actually quite busy here. I'm pretty sure I'm hearing a steel guitar underneath of all of this with the acoustic strumming, just playing beautifully. And then, that synthesizer is so busy. There's so much going on. It's just dropping little synth pellets constantly everywhere. And normally that would drive me absolutely nuts. But I don't know if it's because it's further back in the mix or because the panning is just changing constantly. But it isn't annoying or obnoxious. It actually is quite beautiful the way that it's coming in. It's like a gentle rain that's enough to say, hey, it's raining, but not enough to actually make you leave the campfire. And it's really shocking how well that actually plays together, but it works. So I'm certainly not going to argue it. I'm just going to enjoy it. And of course, I've talked about many times how much I love this gentle vocal delivery for a song like this. It's going to get a little harsher at some point, but just sitting here, here's what I can equate it to. And this is going to be like a real stretch for you probably. But growing up in Michigan, we went to Cedar Point, which is an amusement park in Ohio, about 3.5 hours away or so. I don't remember exactly. But there was a log ride, which is a water ride called the Mill Race. It's gone now, but it was just basically like you sit in this boat, which is carved out to look like a log, and you just go around in the water. And then at the end, there's this big hill that I always found annoying. Like, just let me sit in the boat, go around in the water. I'll be perfectly happy. I would say the same thing about Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland. But this is kind of like just being in the boat and floating on the water and looking around and enjoying the scenery. Just really relaxed and calm, and something I could just lay there and listen to for hours. I really love it. Lots of nice additions here, that sort of vibrato sound that you hear. There's also a low synth that comes in with the drums as well that is really nice, and it doesn't detract from the bass guitar at all. Bass is playing very typical bassy stuff for this band, very motion-oriented, I would call it, but just a really nice sound overall. Love the guitars, love the drums coming in. Everything is just really tight, but it's still, even though it's elevating itself in the level of things that it's doing, it's still holding that gentle nature to it, which is really nice and that can be very tricky to do, but it's pulled off well here by the band.
No thought of sleep ever dwells upon the wise man's mind. Some task or audience stealing every moment of his time. Thus we have learned to live while mortal men stand waiting to die. How can we do what must be done in just one short life?
I absolutely love that line. That to me is one of the most powerful lines I've ever heard in music. How can we do what must be done in just one short life? And I don't know about you guys. Even as a kid, I felt this way, but it's like there's only so much time and there's so many things that I want to accomplish in my life. No matter how much I get done or how long I live, it just is going to seem like it went by so fast, like it's so short. And this line it's been one of those that no matter how many times I hear it, it just gives me a little bit of a chill. It seems haunting to me. And it's a beautiful line, and it's very true, and it makes us kind of look at our mortality a little bit, but it's very powerful. And I don't know how many times I've heard this song. It's been quite a few, and still, even right now, listening to it, chill up the spine. And yeah, beautiful line. Love it. And the music is just so full for being so simple. There's actually a lot going on, and I love it. I love those little guitar notes that we have coming in here. I would imagine this song would have been difficult to do live. You'd have to sacrifice something somewhere to do this live, because I don't think you would have enough people to really pull off this sound. If you pull Ken off of the keyboard to do the acoustic guitar, for example, you need him on keyboards, because there's a lot of keyboard stuff going on here. So I don't know. I think it would have probably been tough to do live. I don't know if they ever did it, but if they did, I would be curious as to how it sounded, just from the perspective of covering all of these things that we're hearing right now. But just, it's such a beautifully crafted song. It really is.
And if you ask, then you must know. If you still doubt, you should be told. It was not we that made it so. It was by those who went before. And there you sit, tomorrow's child, so full of love, so full of life. But you must rise to meet the day, lest you become another tale. And there you sit, tomorrow's child, so full of love, so full of life. But you must rise to meet the day, lest you become another tale.
So you got a little bit more of a growl in the vocal as it comes to the emotional peak of the song. Love that little change in there, and the addition of the voices. But just such a cool song, and really enjoyable. Very powerful imagery. I love the idea of "you must rise to meet the day." That's so important. I think if we start off every day with that in mind, I think we could accomplish probably more than we do. We tend to, wake up slowly. I got to have my coffee before I do anything. I used to, and I really need to get back to doing this, but I used to work out for half an hour when I first woke up. And, it was good. It gets your body going and your metabolism started and all that. Then you have breakfast. But it really is about maximizing our day. And you can do that if you just get right on it from the get-go. And that line is a great reminder. Yeah, I know I'm taking it a little bit out of context, but not so much. Great reminder of what we should be doing with our morning. Ooh, another one where I'd really love to hear what happened after they faded it out. It seemed like there was some good guitar work going on there that I would be curious to have followed up a little more with. But the song faded where it did, and that's what we get. Beautiful song. If I haven't expressed that enough, I love this song. It's just a wonderful bit of the collection. And a lot of times when you have an album that has a long song on one side, and we're coming up to the actual song, The Magician's Birthday, on Thursday. But what's interesting is most of the time I found that the song before it can be a filler track. It could be just something that, we needed something to fill up the rest of the side, and we've got this track, let's go ahead and use it. And it doesn't really seem like, something that was written cohesively or whatever. And that's, just my opinion. But in this case, we have just a beautiful song leading into the big finale of the album, and what a party it is. And I'm very excited. I've got a special guest on my show on Thursday, which you guys will find out on Thursday. And hopefully that you'll enjoy that show as well. It's going to be a two-parter, but man, what a song this is. Just a fantastic, enjoyable journey in that little boat going down the water, or at the campsite, however it is that you look at it, whatever image it pops into your head. But certainly for me, those are the two things that I come up with. So great song. Really excited to talk about it with you guys. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. We will see you Thursday for the magician's birthday. Cheers. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Uriah Heep, the Magician's Podcast. If you have enjoyed this show, please consider going over to Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast outlet, leaving a rating or a review. Be sure to subscribe to make sure that you are notified when new episodes are available. Please be sure to share this podcast with your fellow Uriah Heep enthusiasts and anyone who you think would like Uriah Heep, which should be everyone. And if you are so inclined, please feel free to contribute to the Patreon account. And if you are not a Patreon subscriber, you can also pay through the PayPal link on the website listed in the show links below. I would also like to thank Uriah Heep for their very generous support of the show. And thank you guys for listening. We'll see you in the next episode. Happy days!